Welcome back guys to SSRS sessions, and in last session we discussed about how to create a report item, how to create a report using report item, and how to create the data source, both types of data sources like embedded and also the shared one, and also we discussed about how to create data sets, and we also used a table to show the data, and we also discussed about how to add columns to the table and how to remove the columns from the table. Like if you click on any cell, the table borders will be visible here, and if you right click on this, you can see insert column option to the right or left. This is the place. This is most frequently used one. Whenever you add table, you will get only 3 columns. If you see here, it added only 3 columns by default. So you need to add columns, and this is the most frequently used one. And if you if you don't know this, then you'll be in trouble. Okay. So remember this, right click on the column header and right or left, and deleting the same option here. Option in the same context menu. You can say delete columns, which will delete the column. And if you want to delete the table, select all, delete it. Okay. Now this is about table format, and let's see one more format before going to the next concepts. Okay. The next format is matrix format, which we have seen there, right? While discussing about report server project wizard, we created two templates. One is tabular and another one is matrix. This is nothing but tabular, okay, and this is nothing but your matrix format. Now let's see what is the difference between these two. When I add a matrix, you can see row group is added and column group is added in the bottom. And when I'm highlighting this, there is no row group, no column group. Actually, this is details data. So this is not a grouping. You can see this is blank. Okay, you will come to know about that when we discuss about the grouping. So by default, whenever you drag and drop a matrix, the row group and the column group will be there. Whatever you drag into the rows will be grouped, and whatever you drag into the columns will be grouped here, right? Let me show you. Let me drag the same columns, whatever I have dragged here. And if you see, English category name, subcategory, product name, color, and so on. Let me make it little, let me make a couple of changes so that product categories, this name looks better than the complete one. And subcategories I'll give. And the third one is products. Instead of, the name is pretty lengthy, right? And this is why I'm showing this one is this is how you can edit the text box cell. If you want to give some hard-coded text, this is hard-coded. This will not be changed, right? This is not dynamically changing one. You are not pulling this particular one. This is hard-coded, right? So you can give text like this. And color, let it be color. And instead of sales amount, I'll make it as sales. And let it be tax amount. Now, if you see, I have selected 4 cells, or let's say all the row I have selected, and bold. If you click on that, it will set the bold. If you want to underline it, you can click on underline. And if you want to color this text, you can color the text. Let's say I'll go for yellow. And if you want to color the background, then you can set it. What is the best color for black? Yellow. It's black, I think. So black. So this is how you can format. This is first base level formatting. I'll show you a lot about formatting. Okay. So now if you see, this report looks little bit better than the earlier one. When we designed the report for first time, it was pure white and white, no other colors, right? Now I set some format. I did some formatting. So this is as easy as this formatting of reports in SSRS. Okay. Now let me talk about matrix report now. So if you observe the matrix, I'm going to use the same columns now. The first column I've used is product category name. So as no data source name is set for this, all the data sources is showing. Sorry, no data set name is set, right? So all the data sources are showing. Under that, whatever the data set that is present, it will be showing. Under that, what are all the columns that are present. So whatever you are gonna set for the first one, that will be finalized one. If I select category name, from now onwards it will show only category related stuff, right? And whatever you select here as part of the rows, that will be grouped row wise. And whatever you select here, that will be grouped column wise. Let's say I select color. This will be grouped column wise. And whatever the data, that is metrics, data means whatever the metrics you want to see, like sales amount, and okay, let's fine, sales amount is enough. Let me show this report as well as that one, and then we can add more and more row group items, and I will explain you what is row group and column group here. If I click on preview, now this is the header, whatever we designed, and if you go to the last page, it is showing somewhere here it starts, I think. It is showing colors on the column and English product category name on the rows, right? What is the difference between normal table and matrix table? Let's discuss about this in SQL Server concepts, okay? Let me go to SQL Server Management Studio, and let me connect to the AdventureWorks, the same database. And meanwhile, let me copy the query. I need the query, right? So I'll use the same query, why to write again. And let me connect to AdventureWorks database here. Okay. And if you see, if I execute this query, whatever it is returning, this is free form. This is pure data, right? Two-dimensional data. And this table displays the data as is. However, it is showing here, it will display in the same format or same way. And if you see, there are 61,638 records it is returning, and the same number of records will be shown here. You can see 1,401 pages are there, right, with this data. That means per page something around 30, right? 30 or 60. I put in mathematics, man. So it will show all the data as is. Table means it's just like SQL Server output table. Whatever you are getting, it will show as is. It will not do any any touch-ups to the data that it is being pulled using the select statement. If you take only two columns from here, from the query in this data, in the report, then only those two columns will be shown. Let's say I'm not taking, I'm deleting these subcategories, and I'm deleting these products, and I'm deleting these colors, and I'm taking only sales amount and tax amount. If I preview it, only these three columns will be shown. Whatever I'm getting from select statement, it will be shown as is. Now, if I delete sales amount, okay, there are only three different types of categories, right? Accessories, clothing, and something else. But still, if you go for preview, how many rows are there? That many times it will be repeated. The query will be executed, right? The same output will be shown. Whatever the output that is getting, that is fetching using the select statement, that will be shown as is. It's your wish. Taking only one column or all the columns or ordering of the columns, it all depends on your requirement, how you want to show. If you want to add two columns, then you can add two columns, and the second one, if you want, you can go for tax amount, and this will be shown as tax amount. This will show product categories and tax amount, but the number of records will be the same, whatever it is being pulled by the select statement. And if you see the matrix is not that case. Matrix always it will go for group by. It's always groups. We can see row group and column group. First here, let's say I'm not having this. I'm removing this column group. I don't have, just to okay. I'll show first the basic one, and then we can discuss about the complex one. So if you see this row group, matrix report, it has only 3 rows. Where is that last page? Here bikes, and this is the bikes. And if you go to the next page, you have accessories and you have clothing. So what is the difference between that and this one? How many of you guys are aware of group by statements in SQL Server? How many of you guys know what is group by statement? Rough, base explanation here. So group by is nothing but whatever you select, group by will consist of two things. Any group by SQL statement will consist of two things. One is textual columns and another one is metric columns, that is integer or decimal columns, right? This will be always calculated, like either any aggregate function will be applied, like either sum, count, distinct count, or there are so many other average. On the matrix it will be applied, and here it will be grouped by this. For example, there are 100 sorry, not 100. One second, I'll take a better example. Okay, an exam conducted in a class where there are 60 students, 10 students. 60 is pretty high. 10 students and for 6 subjects. Okay, if you ask students wise marks, how you will do that? You will take each and every student name and you will take all the 6 subject marks and sum it and return the result, right? Rupesh, total 6 subjects, he got 27 marks. Next, you will take the next guy, you will take all the 6 subjects and sum for this guy and you will calculate, you will return the result, right? This is how you will provide whenever you ask student wise marks. Now a new question asked to you, that is marks, subject wise marks. For all the students, what is the subject wise marks? Which subject is good? Then how we will calculate? You will take mass, you will take all the student marks and sum it and say mass, everyone total, all the students scored 27 marks or 50 marks, whatever it may be. Next you will take social and you will take all the student marks on social studies and you will calculate that. So you are grouping on subject here, you are grouping on student here, right? What you are grouping on? I am grouping the marks. Here also I am grouping the marks. So always the group by, in the group by statement, the columns which are not aggregated columns, we call it as non-aggregate columns, that drives the query. That is the key one. Okay. If you observe here, the bikes, if I take bikes and sales amount in my report, it is repeating again and again and again. Why I need to, if I show a report like this, let me execute this report. Let me take the pen. So if you see this, if it gives me like this, bikes 286.2616, again bikes 286.2616, bikes 271.9992, what it is gonna give? How many, like that, if there are 50 crore transactions happen, it returns me 50 crore records. Will it make any sense to the user? How we will calculate it? How we will come to, always the users or the business people will be concentrating on the total sales, the total part. So if you use group by, you will get that. Why? Because group by will have two parts. One is the driving one and the next one is the metrics. Now let me write the group by statement for the same, and you'll come to know how the group by works. So what query we have, what is the functionality we have given for the matrix here? It is English product category name wise, I want to see sales, right? Oops, this is one problem, Microsoft Visual Studio. Told you, right? It restarted. Have not done anything, man. So this problem is there from 2005 version onwards. This is not new one. And see, it's not saved. Nothing was saved. It's gone. Whatever I've added and modified, everything is gone. So that's the problem with Microsoft. That's the only problem. Now I'm taking matrix and I'm taking only the what is that? English product category name, and I'm taking sales amount. If you observe here, I'm asking the server to provide me the sales, sum of sales amount, group by English product category name. Okay. If I write the same query here, how it looks, I'll show you now. What is the requirement? You want sales amount and what is the other one? I want Vamshi to talk here. Because remaining guys are aware of this. So I want we are grouping the sales amount by English product category name, and that is why I'm taking these two columns in the select statement. And how I want to group this, I want to group by English product name, and this is I want sum of sales. So a function needs to be used, that is sum. You'll come to know in SQL Server classes, man. Don't worry about this. Okay. Now this is fine. This is the basic. What you have to do, I want to group. I have to specify group by what you want to group by. What is the column you are gonna using? You are gonna use as part of the grouping section. So that is English product category name. And if I execute, what it will do is it will take each and every bike. Okay. It will take all the values that are present for the bike, all the rows that are present for the bikes, all the sales amount rows, and it will take sum of it, and it will show bikes as one line item. Instead of showing thousands of items, it will show one line item saying that bikes, the total sales is this much, and accessories, this is the total sales, and clothing, this is the total sales. So what I've done is I've done sum. If I take average, what is the average sales? That is another way. So the average bikes sales is 1965.9072. That means 1000, let's assume 1000 customers bought bikes, then the average sales is 1965. The total sales is sum. This is average. In the same way for clothing, the customer's average sales is 37.3335. And if you want to see how many sales per category, you can go for count. So for bikes, there are 16,445 line items. That means that many transactions happen. For accessories, it is 36,092. For clothing, it is 9101. If you observe these three functions, whatever we have used, the first one is sum, the second one is average, and the third one is count. Average, and what is the other one? The sum. So if you take count, this is count, and this is sum, and this is average. And the average is always known formula, right? Sum divided by count. This divided by this is equal to average. This divided by this is equal to average. Don't worry much about this group by statement. Just try to understand the base underlying concept of the group by. The underlying concept is what it, instead of showing all the line items, what it will do is it will take, 1 second, let me execute the query. It will take, it will take the distinct items of whatever the column you specify in the group by, okay, and then it will take the sales amount of that particular item and it will sum everything. For example, first it will take bikes and it will take all the bike sales amount, okay, and then finally it will add all the bike sales amount if you give the sum function. If you use count function, it will count and give the number of rows. If you give average function, it will calculate average and it will give you the average. So this is how the group by works. In the same way, the group by works here. Let me remove this guy. It is going to 1000 pages. I don't want that much. If I execute it now, you can see first it has taken bikes and it has taken all the line items of the bikes and it has added all the sales amount and it is displaying it here. In the same way for accessories, in the same way for clothing. So the difference for normal tabular report and the matrix report is tabular report is free-form style report. Not free-form, just it's a tabular report, two-dimensional rows and columns. But here it is not like that. It will group. Matrix one is it groups the data. It groups the data based on the column you want, the field you want. Now I've taken English product category name and asking it, the server to group it. But I want to group by color. So just select the color. Now it will group the data based on colors. There are silver, not applicable, multicolor, and it is shown. 1 second. This is not changed. Okay. Now if you see, it will group by colors. There are some 7 to 8 colors, right? Silver, this is the total sales. Black, this is the total sales. Red, this is the total sales. Yellow, this is the total sales, and so on. And if you want to group by more than one column, one field, then how can you do that? You can do that by simply dragging and dropping the next column, whatever you are looking for. let's say, let me take report data. This is the color, and you also want to group it by product, let's assume. So then you can take the product name, drag it, hold the press the mouse button and drag it, and until you see this half bracket, right? You can see the half bracket now here. When you see that, just drop it. So it is added now. The first grouping is color and then is product. Let's see how it looks. So first it is silver, and it is showing all the products that are there under silver, and each product the total sales, right? Can you see how the report is coming? This is matrix format. It groups the data rows wise and column wise. Now let me do one thing. I don't want to group it based on color. I want to group it based on category name, as I've done earlier. So category name, and the second one I want to group is with subcategory name and then product name. Okay. So what I have to do? I have to drag the subcategory name, and where I have to place this? I want it in between these two. So drag it. If you now you can see, right? The dark color, blue color one is showing here. If you drop it here, it will be the first one. If you come here, now it is showing in the middle, in between these two. So if you drop it now, it will be added there. So this is how you can add n number of groups, row groups, based on your requirement. Now if you see, the first is bikes. Under bikes, I have mountain bikes. Under mountain bikes, I have these products, and each product sales is this much. In the same way, if you go to the next one, under bikes you have road bikes. Under road bikes you have these many number of products, and product wise sales is this much. And bikes again, road bikes. If you observe, it will group first based on category name, and then based on subcategory name, and then based on product name, and finally it is giving me sales amount. So you have one more option here. What is that? You can add column group. Let's say I want to group the column based on colors. Just select the color and select the same color field here, and you can see color wise grouping on the column wise. So this is row wise grouping. You can see bikes grouped and all the subcategories, under that all the products. But if you see the columns, the same sales amount is split in different columns. One for silver, one for black, one for red, one for yellow, one for not applicable color, one for blue, multi-line, multi-color, and white. So this is how you can use row grouping and column grouping. And if you observe row grouping and column grouping, if you now on the row grouping, how many I have added? I have added 3. And you can see this is first one, and this is second one, and this is third one. And it is showing the hierarchy. What is the first one, and what is the second one, and what is the third one? In the same way, you have added one column group, you have that column group here. Right? So this is how you can create the matrix report, and most preferably people go for mostly whenever you have something like sales amount or sales units, something like that, then they'll go for matrix. Free form style report, normal database table kind of report will not help. If you give these 60,000 records and ask your senior manager, sir, this is the sales, you do one thing, copy all these things into Excel and calculate it. Then the next day or on the same day, I'll get my relieving letter. Right? So always you have to make the work easy for them. If you give like this, it won't help. That is why most of the cases people go for matrix report. If in most of the cases, if matrix report is the best one, then why and where they're gonna use tabular report? Can you go for it, guys? What is the best example where they can use, where people can use tabular form, table report, table control for reporting? Whenever you don't have any metrics in the sense the sales amount or tax amount or something like that, then on what basis you will create group by? There is nothing to create group by, right? So in that cases, you don't have any other go. Even let's say you don't have sales amount here, okay? And in that case, I'll tell you an example. Employee details. If you want to show employee details like employee name, employee ID, employee email ID, and employee PAN card number, and employee passport number, and so on. Will it be it will be there will be, even though there are 1 million records or 2 million employees in a company, You have to show all the records, right? You can't go for group by in that, right? Even though if you go for group by, it will result nothing. It will show the same number of rows. Why? Because nothing is repeating there. Okay. If you have only textual information, non-repeating textual information, then in that case you will go for detailed data. If you see these days in India also everything is online reservation. All the reports they are generating for every bus, the conductor will be coming with one sheet, right? That is tabular report. The passenger name, his PNR number, and his so and so. That's tabular report, right? There is nothing to group by. There is nothing to either sum or count or to apply any aggregate function, right? In those kind of scenarios, you'll go for tabular report, and whenever there is a unique data in the tables, and if you want to show all the information without any metric information, only the textual information, like if you want to see what are the product names present in the product table, then it will go, you have to go for tabular report. That's the best option, right? Matrix will come into picture only when you have to group by some particular column, like if you want to calculate the sum, as I told you in the example, exams wise, if they ask what is the exams wise marks, then sorry, subject wise marks, then you will take subject as the group by item, and marks is the aggregate field where you will be using sum of marks. If you use student wise, then you will take student as the group by item, student name as the group by item, and you will take the marks, see subject marks of the student, and you will calculate it, and you will calculate it. Correct? So this is the difference between tabular reports and matrix reports. Now we have done our first matrix SSRS matrix report. Now let's add some formatting. Let's talk in the client perspective. Okay, I am the client or you are the client. If I give you a report like this, will you be happy by seeing the report? Let's say the print comes like this somewhat. It comes like this. Will you be happy by seeing this report? What's the problem? Okay, forget drill down. For taking the printout he want. What is the problem you can see here? So the first and foremost thing that should come into your mind is the formatting. This is just pure like Excel. Without Excel, even in Excel, people formats a lot. The formatting is missing. Now let's start and do some formatting where all it's not correct and not proper. If you see the columns, the silver, black, the columns are coming on the left hand side and the values are coming on the right hand side. That doesn't look good, right? So first let's change that. So this color should come in the middle, and even the sales amount, or both should come on the right or both should come on the left. Then it looks good. So I'll set everything to the center. How to set all the values to come in the center? You have an option, just like in Excel or Excel. Yeah, in Excel you have, right? I think people have experience on working on Excel. So if you click on this, it will align to the center. Now it is center aligned. If you execute the report, all the colors will come in the center as well as the values. You can see now it looks bit better, at least 1% better than the previous look and feel. What is the next thing that is missing? The next thing is, these are columns. The colors whatever you are giving is columns, so it should be there should be some differentiation. And even these are grouping the data. These are something like column kind of. Now if you see the report, you can see bikes, mountain bikes, and categories, subcategories, and products, and the column headers are coming in bold. This looks a bit better. Now let me give some background for this, background color for these three, or I'll give for colors. Okay, how to set the background? You can see the option here, right? Select it, and let me set this color, one of my favorite colors. Now let's see how it looks. Is this looking good, or What are your comment on this, guys? This is just better but not the best one, so let's select the best color. The best color is black. But the problem, if you select the black, the names will not be visible. The names is also in black color. The text is also in black color. So everything is merged and it's becoming full black. So what you have to do? Change the names into some color which can be clearly seen on black background. Divya said red. Let's try, but I don't think red is the best one. It's not so good. I prefer to go with white on black. This looks better, right? Compared to red, I'm saying. And Divyan, you can take red and you can practice in your local computer. Now, even this is the same, right? This is also header. Let's set the black color to this one, background. And for the foreground, let's set, foreground in the sense the text, let's set white color. Okay. This is better, right? Let's see how it looks when you... Okay, at least this is somewhat colorful. Now let me format. Let me add black color for these things too. So background is black and foreground is white. Now tell me guys, is this not better? This report whole, if you see, it looks better. And let me change the page settings and see how it looks. Instead of letter, I'll go for A4. No, I'll go for landscape first. And let me select margins very less. I'll set it as 0.1. All these formats you don't concentrate now. I'll explain everything. 0.1, 0.1. Now let's see how it looks. This is better, right? The report. And still we can format more. See, but the columns are dynamic here. See, you don't know how many columns you are going to get, like silver, black, red. It can be 8, 9, 10. Depends on how many colors are there. It will be that many here. So now let me modify it little bit and let me hard code the columns instead of making it as dynamic one. Let me try hard coding it, or let me try to fit everything in one page so that the report can be exported, right? If you see here the preview, I can't export. You can see that remaining colors are missing on the right hand side. Can you see that? So if I can make everything fit into one report, then it will be awesome. Correct? Let me do that. I don't need this much space for the category, and I don't need this much space for subcategory. Let it go to the second row. I don't care. This much for products, and let it be here. Now let's see how much space is there. Oops, it's at the old page settings again. Let me go to the page settings. Let me set the page settings somewhere else. Guys, you don't worry about this page setting formats, okay? You just worry about the remaining stuff, but not the page setting formats. I'll explain you everything again. That's what. So 0. This is too early to explain about page settings. Okay, now let me see how it looks. I'm getting only 4 colors and still 3 more are there, and I don't need. And if you observe, if you see the products, the values are coming in 4 decimals. That is taking a lot of space. So what I can do is I can reduce the space if I can make it 2 decimal. So let me format it to 2 decimal. That is not actually looking good, right? So let me format it to 2 decimal. I'll make it as #.00, and let's see whether it comes properly or not now. Now I got good enough space. What I can do is I can decrease the column width of this. I think this is enough, right? Now let's see how many columns are setting in one page print preview. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are set, and still I need more space. How can I do that? Let me decrease the space of this even more, and even this one more, and this one let me increase a little bit, and now let me see. So this is how we will do adjusting part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are coming now, and still how many are there? Still many, I mean, three more are there, right? Total 6 or 7 or 8. I don't remember. Let me check it here in the SQL Server. Select distinct color from dim product. There are 10, man. Forget it. I can't add 10 now. Let me do some more formatting. Okay. So the formatting, I decrease the font size and all, and still the report looks okay, readable format. Okay, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 columns are there. Data is present only for 8 columns, man. That is why. And if you observe, all the 8 columns are coming here now. All the 8 columns are coming, and we're good, right? And still you have more space left on the right hand side, so you can increase the space. You can increase the space of this so that it will occupy the space completely in the page. Okay, and I can increase space for this one too. Not much. I have to increase very less. And let me increase a little bit for this, and let's see. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set the border, right hand side border and the left hand side border to equal. That I can do by setting this to 2. Done. Now if I go to preview, you can see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Now it is decreased. I have to decrease the size of this. One column is missing. Okay, this will be fine, I guess. Let me set it. Let me check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, still 7. I have to decrease a little bit. Let me set this guy. So this is how you will be doing in SSRS. Until you reach the desired format, you will be continuously doing some trial and errors. So many times you will be checking the preview. Now you can see the left hand side space and right hand side space is almost the same, and all the columns are set. Now if I export to any format, like let me go to PDF file. I'm exporting to the desktop sales data, and this is my sales data. This is the PDF, and you can see it, right? This is how it is coming. Is it not in readable font or readable size? It's pretty clear. You can easily understand what's their data. Bikes, mountain, 100 bikes, and so on. And you can scroll the data and you can see the data of different pages. This is the 3rd page, 4th, 5th, and so on. There are 5 pages data and you can see it. Is it not clear? The data, whatever is there in the report. So this is how you can, once you start formatting, if you know how to format in Excel, then you can easily format here. Okay, and as you all know, there are so many export options. Like you can export to TIFF file. TIFF file is an image file, and Excel file. So when I started designing this report, it was worse. Like it was just everything white and so on. Now after doing some formatting, you can see how good the report is. But still there is something problem. What is that something? Can you find that? Can you tell that what is the part that is missing here? No, title is missing, that is secondary. But if you observe here, these 3 cells are empty and it is not looking good. Right? These 3 cells. Now what you can do is, you don't worry much about this also. I'll explain again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the particular border. Border color, let's say I'll set it as white for these two also. Okay, now let me see the preview, and you can see it is gone. Let me export to PDF. Yes, yes, I opened it, so it is not allowing me to save it. Let me close that and save the file again with the same name. Yes, it's saved. And now if you see, this report looks perfect, right? So this is how step by step you can go and you can make a beautiful report from the nowhere. You can start at nowhere. First, whenever you add a table or matrix, it will be nothing. It's just plain blank one. And we have to spend some half an hour or so, or not even half an hour. But at the end, we are able to fit everything in one page as per the requirement, and people can directly export it. They can export it and they can see the data. And you can export it to Excel also. Let's see how it looks in Excel. I exported. Let's see how the Excel report looks. This is also looking good, right? There is no columns here, and here you can see the data. Perfect. However you have defined it, in the same way it is here, right? So this is how you can format the report. This is the base level formatting, and there is a lot of formatting here in this report. And now clients will be little bit happy when I provide this report, okay, or report in this format rather than the one I've shown a couple of minutes back. Now, what is still lagging in this report? What clients will ask for or client will expect for? If I give this report to the users, will they be satisfied and they'll say, okay, everything is there, you don't need to work on this anymore, this is final report? Will they say like that, or any other suggestions? Okay, they may ask for title, or we can call it as header, right? Now let's see how the report header can be added. Report header can be added by right clicking on the area outside. This is outside area. This is your chart area, a table or report area, and this is outside the report area. If you click here, you can find two options. One is add page header and add page footer. If I click on add page header, the header is added, right? And I can set the size, whatever size I want, I can set it. Let's say I want a very simple one. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert a text box into this. Okay. And in that text box, what I'm doing is I'm adding a some text like sales report. And again I have to format the sales report. Why? Because this is a header. Header should be always in bold, and the font should be bigger than the normal text, let's say 14 points. Okay. And what else needs to be there in the header? You can go for center align just by selecting these. And what else? Yeah, dates, that will be, we can add it. We can add it in the footer. When we discuss about the footer, we can add it. Okay. Now if I execute this report, it looks like this. The sales report is coming somewhere here. Why? Because this is center we set, and this is the center, and all the remaining columns are extra columns, dynamic columns. So that's the problem in having setting the header in the dynamic column. Whenever you have your report is having dynamic columns. So what people will do is they will set it as left align, and people will go for underline for the sales report, and they'll expect a different color for that. Let's say some attracting color, green or red. Okay. Now this is how the report will be generated and shared with all the guys. If you see the print preview, it looks like this. If you go to the next page, in every page it will be repeated the same. So this is how you can design the report. This is one feature clients will ask for. Like and if you see, this is as simple as this. Right click and click on add page header. And if you observe, once you added the page header, the option is converted to remove page header. What that means, for one report you can have only one page header. For one report, generally it's common sense, right? For one report there will be only one header and one footer possible. And now I'm adding page footer, which will show. I'll set something like this. What you want me to show in the page footer? Let's say I'll add one more text box in the page footer, and I'll give page number. Okay, what is the page number of the report? I'll give here. Page number, and I'll set it to bold. Now let me preview the report. You can see here it is showing 1. If I go to the next page, it is showing 2, and let me show it full page for you guys. It is showing 1 for the first page, and for the second page it is showing 2, and for third page it will be showing 3 and 4. So now I have added page footer and page header, and if I right click, and if you see, the options are only remove. You cannot add one more. That means one report you can have only one page header and one page footer. If you want to remove it, just click on this. That will be gone. Remove. All the functionality, whatever you have added in the page footer, will not be displayed when you generate the report next time. Like if I preview it now, it won't show the footer for me. It will show only header. Why? Because I have removed it. After this, what client will expect for? Client will be happy with this, or they'll ask for more. If I give this report, what is the next question from the client? Client will say, yeah, clients always wants more. They don't settle at one point. Okay, which date sales, that is secondary. But if I give this report, he'll say, Rupesh, you have done a fantastic job. This report really looks good. But what if I want to see only one product or one category or one subcategory sales? Now you are showing everything, but I want to see only clothing related, some particular product. So every time I have to go on search. So what is the best option we can provide for that? We can provide an option called filters, filtering the data. In SSRS, we call it as parameters. So parameters, if you see on the left hand side, the parameters pane is, the folder is empty. You can add parameters. Let me show you how to add parameters. How easy is adding parameters? Before going to that, parameters is used to filter the data. To filter the data, instead of pulling all the data from your database, you can just use only, you can filter and get the data. If you see this report, and if the requirement is to see only touring type, okay, it is only here, and the sales is 27105.65. Just to see this one information, why I have to pull all the data? That is performance issue, right? Actually, I don't need the remaining information here. Pulling all the 60,000 records into this report will not make sense when my requirement, when the user's requirement is to get only one product information, right? So the option for that one is parameters, and parameters plays a major role. Without parameters, don't expect reports. If you provide any report without parameters, that will be like not so useless for analysis purpose, at least. For showing some hard-coded or some fixed tables or fixed data, then you can go for the parameters. But parameters, if you provide, then you are giving power to the user to select whatever you wish to see. If you want to see only one color product, what you can do? Here it is showing all the colors. If you give a parameter which helps the user to filter the colors, instead of showing all, if he selects only black color product needs to be shown, right? So if you can give that power to the users, then they can play with that. Then you are giving a good, you're doing a good help to the user for by helping him in making his analysis part easy. However you want to filter, he can filter the data and he can see it. If you want to see, let's say this report is a region-wise report, region-wise sales. If you want to see North America region, he can filter North America and he can see that. If not like that, if his business is in 100 countries and all the 100 records are coming every time, it will be very difficult for the users to find out the country that he is looking for, right? So the parameters plays a major role in designing the report, and we'll discuss about these parameters in next session. But I'll say that you have to go through this video, whatever we have discussed today. It has a lot of formatting related stuff, and you can see a base report, a simple report converted to a little bit better in terms of look and feel. This report look and feel is far better than the first report whatever we have created. So you just practice all this stuff and try to get some grip on grouping part, okay? And people who are new to SQL Server, just go through that videos and try to find what is grouping and what is joining. Those two are very important for SSRS training sessions. And if you have any queries, you just ping me, I'll reply to that. And in next session, we will discuss complete session on parameters. Why? Because parameters is very important one, and next session is very important one for you guys. So don't miss the session. And after that, we are gonna discuss about the next one, that is expressions, which is also very important. So once we cover these two, the parameters of the expressions, after that it will be like different types of reports you can generate. Now you are going with only tabular report and matrix report, and you are trying to make this report from a base one to the user friendly one. First it was base one, then we discussed what clients will ask for. Client will ask for some formatting stuff. We have done that. And what next client will ask for? Client will ask for parameters option on to filter the data. So we are going to discuss about that in tomorrow's session. Thank you guys. I'll share the video. Just go through that and practice as much as you can. Have a good day.